Welcome, everyone. Erik Roth back with another discussion with another astrologer here. I'm with Anna Thea, an evolutionary astrologer, a divine feminine educator, and love card lady. So, Anna Thea, thank you for being here and welcome to this YouTube channel.
Oh, this is fun, Eric. Thank you for having me. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited to with you. I'm trying to get, with this format, other perspectives, other astrologers coming in with their perspective and with something more unique. And, you do evolutionary astrology, you work with the feminine and work with the love cards. So that kind of brings in a whole unique blend that, I don't talk about. So this could be great for people, and there'll be, information like in the description for people to contact you too after this recording as well. So, yeah, please introduce yourself. What brought you into the field of astrology and what helped you come into that space to desire to help others.
Oh my God, I was born in that space because this is like, a soul contract when we come in here. But okay, so that's a lot to have to answer. Let's see, where do
Just
I
take your
go
time
from
with that. That's no
No.
rush.
Um, so you asked one question, then you asked what got me into astrology, but what was the one? Oh, who I am. My name's Anna Thea. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, divine feminine educator. The love card lady, I should explain a little bit about that, but we'll have time to talk about the love cards or the destiny cards. But every astrologer has their specialties. They're what they're most passionate about. So there's not this one, you're an astrologer and that, there's so many different variations and then so many different types of astrology that people study as well. So it's very far and wide. And that's why when you get an astrology reading, you really need to get it from people that you resonate with. It's not just order up an astrology reading, but with somebody that you really resonate with. And so my specialty is really about, I'm also an author too. I should talk about that. But
Yes.
about helping people with relationships. So, in the Native American way, they say Omatakioasin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it says it translated is all my relations. And me being a good little Libra with 3 planets in Libra, I'm all about relationship, but it's worn me out, making relationship important. But nonetheless, I think that I feel all of our relationships are sacred. And it's where we can experience the most pleasure in life and the most joy and the most heartwarming experiences, but where we can also experience the deepest grief and disappointment and pain. So I've really studied all things around relationship, and then started studying astrology. So what happened too was a big turning point for me, was when I was 39 years old. My first husband passed away from liver cancer. And so at that point, it was like I would just, when you have a mate that dies, that passes, it's like you're being given, oh, here, you have a whole brand new life, you know? And so that happened to me at 39, and that's when I went on this deep journey of discovery. And I was in a mystery school for 2 years, and that's where I was turned on to it. Well, there's two parts where I was turned on to astrology. But I was turned on to astrology in that mystery school, and that was with Daniel Giamario, which is who you studied
Yes,
with him extensively, you
I
know?
did. Starting
Um,
starting in 2004.
right. I know. And so I started the mystery school in 2005 because we talked about this once before. So 2005 to 2007 is when I was in the mystery school, the Divine Feminine Mystery School.
Yeah.
Um, And that's where I was introduced to him. And that was not the main curriculum. That was just a part of the curriculum because it was all about
Mhm.
really self-discovery, and healing. And so he was part of the curriculum. And that's when I really got turned on to this idea of the inner beloved, you know?
Yes. Was
Do
that with
you?
Anya McAndrew?
No, with Daniel.
No, there was but the Divine Feminine School. Was there
Oh no,
another?
this was Caroline Muir, the queen of
Oh, Caroline
Tantra.
Muir. Yes.
Yeah, Caroline
Okay.
Muir, Saida Desolé, she does some completely different stuff now, but
Yeah.
I learned like these incredible Taoist practices from her. And then Joan Hartfield and her husband, Tomas Hartfield. So we had four
Yes.
teachers and we did, 10-day deep immersions. It was like a life-changing, transformative experience.
I've read
But
the Thomas and Joan. I've read their book or Joan's book, Romancing the
really,
Beloved.
see, isn't that funny? Maybe through
Yeah.
Daniel, is it because of Daniel's connection to them that he
Yes.
told you about the book? Got it.
Yes.
Interesting. So we were kind of already overlapped without even knowing it.
That's right. Yes.
Years ago, years ago.
Very, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because Daniel Giamaro, I don't know if this was in California, but he frequented the Nevada City, Grass Valley area for
Right. But that was
and
before I
that.
ever lived here. So that was
Oh,
before.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, so you've been in the Grass Valley area for how long now?
15 years.
Okay. So yeah, so it was something that he would go and travel and do readings and classes at
Yeah.
various times.
Yeah. He's in the Philippines now, right?
He is. That's right. Yeah. He's been
Wild.
there for, I think, about 12 or 13 years now.
Yeah, and I really, I really like because I didn't know anything about astrology then, but I did know about the love cards, and that's a separate story. But when he introduced us to the inner beloved and the sacred marriage, I just was like, I was all into it. And, so basically for our listeners, it's like, if you want to just make it real simple, Mars is for women, you develop your inner masculine, and for men, you develop your inner feminine. And, I don't know how he deals with it now as far as he said it doesn't matter your sexual orientation or anything, but you're basically
Right.
developing your inner other. And so that whether you're in
Yes,
relationship or not, you're walking with your inner other by your side at all times. And if we don't develop that inner other, for me, it would be my Mars, for you, it would be your Venus, then we're projecting that on our partner and we're wanting them to give it to us, you know?
indeed. No, you've got that right. And part of the inner beloved too, also from my understanding, involves one's descendant placement as well.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
the
yes.
sign of their descendant. Yeah.
So this is how it played out for me, which is what I worked on. So my Mars is in Cancer. And so I just saw it as, Cancer is also very family, a family characteristic with Cancer. But for me, it was emotions and my needs and self-nurturing. And so, at the time when I was learning all this, I was very, very emotional. I was a menstruating woman and my emotions would go up and down. And, falling in love was so intense and crazy. And so, at the time, I had a man that I was very much in love with who later took his life. I wasn't with him at the time, but he called me about 2 weeks before he actually took his life. Just intense stuff. I have a lot of Pluto
Wow.
scorpionic energy.
Hmm.
But anyway, I don't know why I laughed just now, but anyway, I learned so much from him. But when I would get super emotional, he would check out. He couldn't deal with my emotions. And so basically, that Mars in Cancer really helped me to understand that I need to cultivate that ability to nurture myself and care for my own needs, and master my emotions and be there for myself emotionally. And so that the next relationship that I won't be projecting my needs to be taken care of on my man, that I actually stand in my emotional strength. That if I can stand in my emotional storm, and then I'll have a mate that can stand in my emotional storm. Because if I had an emotional storm, he would disappear. And of course, all my abandonment wounds would come up. Now, the other
Yeah.
part of it, though, is the descendant. I'm Scorpio rising, so descendant is Taurus. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I have air in I'm balanced in all the elements, I think. But, take me years earlier, I was just high energy, just on the go, just speedy. And, needed to really learn how to ground myself, that Taurian energy. I wasn't strong in that descendant. And I've always attracted Taurus men into my life.
Mm.
Crazy. So,
Well,
how did
it's
you work
interesting.
on the inner beloved?
Uh, a lot, actually. I did extensive work on it, but I wanted just to share just briefly about the descendant in that it's when I was learning shamanic astrology as a foundational core teaching for me as an astrologer now, the descendant represents, part of the inner beloved, but it also represents the sign that when it comes to the outer world, the relationship you learn the most from, the thing that really comes in. It doesn't mean that you have to be with that partner, but it can help at times to get a good, healthy version of that sign. In your case, Taurus, to come through on some level, even if it's not like perfectly healthy. Maybe there's certain threads of that come through that are healthy. And in my case, I'm a Capricorn rising, so my descendant is in Cancer. And so that's about really ultimately nurturing myself, creating safe space for myself and being my own caretaker in that way, you know. And so the sacred marriage also involves, of course, my Mars is in Pisces. That's my masculine expression. Um, and then the Venus is in Sagittarius.
Got it.
But
What
and
degree is your Venus in Sag?
25,
Okay.
25.
Oh, my
And it
Jupiter's right there.
squares what?
My Jupiter's right there.
Oh, there you go. Yes, that's a connection. So it's like an expansive connection around the feminine and Vision Quest path. But my natal Venus, which is only a degree away from my Mercury in Sagittarius as well, because I have 5 planets in Sagittarius,
Oh, my
including the
Lord.
sun. It's so, but Mercury and Venus square my natal Pluto. Not tightly,
Um,
but they do square it. And if some astrologer go look at it, well, it's out of sign because Pluto is in Libra, 1 degree Libra. So it's not a
um,
classic square, but it does have an impact. And I've had to. I couldn't get away with not doing work on my inner beloved. Um, uh, like one of the greatest experiences I had around that was going to Scotland uh, with Daniel Giamario and Anya McAndrew and the 2 week course of the Renaissance of the Sacred Feminine. And we would do ceremonies and work on that inner beloved. And we would at the end, one of the ceremonies we did at the end was to write a letter to our inner beloved and share that letter in front of 20 other people around us in the
I
middle
love
of
it.
these of Calendar sacred stones out there. And at that time, at that particular day, it was raining heavily and sideways, and we were still all out there doing that. And I um, was kind of elated at the experience because it was such a rich, dynamic, like strong thing that the elements were impacting, and I was able to intuitively. I didn't write down anything. I just intuitively created the letter in my mind and be able to share that with everyone. And it felt like it was just
Oh,
an
wow.
amazing experience. And so another part of how I connect with Venus and Sagittarius just by itself is when I'm on the road. So in a way, the land, Venus becomes my journey. It becomes the road itself. That's my, we can call it inner lover, if you will, for lack of a better term. And so that experience of the journey and finding meaning and truth becomes that got the greater attraction for me. It's like that's what I welcome in, and I don't need, necessarily a partner to have that experience. I have that ability to connect with them, or the road, the journey, the vistas, the landscapes, the philosophies, the truths that come through and allow to just feed me. I mean, I'm embodying that Sagittarius. Of course, I've got a lot of Sagittarius to begin with, so it just
Right.
adds to that knowledge. So that's one of the big ways I do it. I can also do it while I'm hiking or exploring other ways or learning new modalities and systems and things like that.
Yeah, no, the quest for truth, wanting to have experiences, travel, expanding your horizons. I love it. I mean, I'm Sag Moon, Jupiter and Sag. My Jupiter's
Jupiter
right
and
outside the
Sag.
galactic center, and your Venus is right outside the galactic center.
Yeah.
So I
So for
think,
everyone,
yeah.
oh, sorry, to interrupt. You were continuing
No,
on.
I don't know for sure, but your Venus might be in Ophiuchus in sidereal. Maybe.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
sure.
in that energy that sits between the Scorpion and Ophiuchus in that zone there in the constellations. So for those that are watching this, the galactic center where it is zodiacally is at 27 Sagittarius. And it's the galactic, but like as it's aligned with the galactic center because the Milky Way goes a little bit diagonally, so but it lines up with the solstice point, the sun's December solstice point. And there was a calculation that was done by John Muse, and he calculated in 1998 it was the sun was perfectly lined up with the center. So that whole area of the sky where the scorpion is, where Ophiuchus kind of drops down with I don't know if it's the snake or whatever that's supposed to be symbolized right there. And then the archer is on the other side of that, pointing an arrow to galactic center. That's where Anna Thea, you're talking about where your Jupiter is and where my
Yeah,
natal
that's where
Venus
you
is.
and I come from, the
Yeah.
galactic center, which is, the center of our universe, right? Or the origin of our universe. It's also where Three Eye Atlas came from. Did you know that?
Well, it came from outside the solar system, but I don't know
It
what
came from
direction
the direction
specifically.
galactic center,
Oh, okay.
my understanding.
I didn't follow it as heavily as you did, but I did write a little bit about it being a cosmic messenger. Because
Hmm.
when we get not just comets themselves, but things especially from outside our solar system, I think that can have a greater impact of a sense of our awareness, humanity's consciousness opening up more, that we're able to even have that connection with planetary bodies that are outside of,
Yeah,
the immediate solar system. So
yeah.
it's amazing that it's all kind of coming in around this time. So, but I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, I was really jumping on the bandwagon, man, but it hit a lot of places in my chart. But what I love about astrology is the fact that, we can get into life and life becomes very mundane and boring. And, the Sag in you, the Sag in me, we want things more expansive, fun, exciting, passionate, fiery. Excuse me.
Yeah.
The search for truth and meaning, not just waking up from every morning and 9 to 5 going to work. So that's what I love about astrology is number one, you could be in astrology for 30 years and you're still going to be learning more, you know. I mean, it's what
Yes,
I call in the divine feminine, the yoni verse. It's in astrology is the universe, you know.
that's right.
Excuse me, I have a little cough here. So that's what I really like is I'll always be learning because but sometimes I have to take a mental break because it is can be very heady. Astrology can be very, very heady. But I think the first thing to start with is just understanding your own imprint, your own chart. And because you're a
Yes.
mystery, everyone, the person, everyone listening here, you are a mystery. And, understanding the mystery of you. I have a healer from years ago. How did it go? She said, if by the end of your life, the only person that you got to know was yourself, life would have been worth living you
Mm,
know? And we go through life so busy, raising kids, working hard, and doing the right thing, just and not really stopping to understand who the heck am I? That what I trip on is where am I going after this? I trip on that a lot.
after this lifetime, you mean?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I think about it at times
I mean,
myself.
I'm a little closer there than you are. I mean, statistically, but
Yeah, well, not that much.
actually, statistically, you're closer because men die earlier. So
Oh, I
statistically,
appreciate the vote of confidence there.
But anyway, we don't know enough about death. Maurice, my teacher, Maurice Fernandez, does death astrology. And
Okay.
he has a whole presentation where and this was when I was in a conference before I was in his school. There was a whole presentation, and there was a little boy, and I don't know whether it was World War One or World War Two, but he would have nightmares as a kid. And they just did this whole journey of figuring out what the heck was going on. He would say these specific things about he was a pilot, and apparently he was
Yep.
a pilot in either World War One or World War Two, and his plane went down. And so they
Yes.
went out to that site, and it made a lot of resolution for the little boy.
I believe we watched that same documentary.
Ah,
I do remember that it was a very powerful
yeah,
story,
yeah.
and I think my recollection is that was from World War II,
Was it? Okay.
and then after they did the ceremony and he was able to honor that, he was able to move beyond those
Yes, I'm
memories.
getting chills right now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what
Oof.
I like about evolutionary astrology, you're officially a shamanic astrologer, right?
Yeah, and I've been expanding that definition to shamanic alchemical astrology, but now because it's such a mouthful, I'm actually rebranded to integral astrologer, which
Okay.
is essentially a just kind of a bringing together of various other kinds, and instead of just sticking to just only one principled system, but that it's an invitation to explore knowledge around us that goes beyond just one system. So I appreciate, having other voices like just here
Yeah, thank you.
as an
Thank you for
evolutionary
having me
astrologer.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel
Well,
anyway, I wanted to this is something I haven't really made officially public, but been I've been kind of leaking here and there. I've got new like business materials about it already.
oh,
So
good.
I don't want to distract from what you are sharing about evolutionary astrology. So please feel free to go for
Well,
it.
I love this marrying of the variety of things, like having different, and that's very Sagittarian, I would say, is wanting to pull, not, I mean, Gemini would want to pull things together, but I mean, just wanting to understand a broader perspective and different points of view, even though Sagittarius can be very opinionated. Strong. I mean, anyway, but what I was saying about evolutionary astrology, what I love about evolutionary astrology is just this idea, it goes through the nodes of evolutionary astrology, studies on the nodes, the north and south node. And I call it the portal that we came in on. And we come from our south node and we're working towards our north node, but it depends on the configuration. If there's planets connected, especially with squares and whatnot, it tells a whole story. But the bottom line, what I love is this idea, and I'm sure other astrologies do it too, and even, spiritual systems, is that we are eternal beings,
Hmm.
that this is just a little part of our whole existence. And if we can just settle into life and just enjoy the ride,
Yeah.
that's enlightenment. And have compassion for those parts of us that we're struggling with. And then the other thing I like to think of it, if I think, oh, well, I don't have this, or I haven't accomplished that, and it's like, I've already been there, done that in another lifetime, or I'm going to have plenty of time to do it in the future. Just enjoy what you have right now, you know?
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
okay, I'm going to add on to that. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I had a psychic tell me, he was looking at me, he goes, there's like a whole library in you. This was at the psychic fair, but this is before I met you. He and I met at the psychic fair, on one of the psychic fairs, and we've known each other since. I don't know, is that like over a year ago now?
Since we met, um, I a year like maybe like a year and a half
Two,
ago, I think
two,
like
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
2024-ish. Yeah. but like
Anyway,
in the
he
falls
was
anyway.
looking at me. I was setting up my booth. This guy was looking at me. You know, there a lot of these psychic fair people are psychic. And she's got a whole library in there in you. It's ancient, you know. And the, you know, I really liked that. But he says, you know, I see, you know, you're going to live till, you know, your early 90s. And I don't know if that's true or not. You know, I have no clue. But what was interesting after he said that, it was really powerful because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be living potentially for a good long while more. When am I finally going to be comfortable being here? You know, like it takes a lifetime to be comfortable in your skin, and then your body starts failing you, you know? So, but it really was profound for me. I mean, I was already working on it, but he helped me to think about that. Like, I don't know, it was really profound to be like, we resist so much of our life and to
Mm.
just stop trying to get somewhere and just work on just being in your life. And I mean,
Yes.
I'm the one to talk. I'm always on the go, but I've had to slow down. And I think that's the beauty of aging too, is acceptance and humbling and just slowing down and preparing us for that other chapter that we're going to, that we have no idea where we're going to, which I hope I can figure out by the time I get there. But
No
okay,
pressure or anything, right?
you're making me talk to. I was listening to this other woman on YouTube. She's wild and crazy, Dana Kipple. And you know, enlightenment is somewhere like out there, like, okay, I'm going to make it to heaven or whatever. But it's really about finding joy right here, right now.
Hmm.
And you know, you
Indeed.
Capricorn rising, that's all about seriousness, right? You know, being, you know, responsibility, right? Being someone everyone can rely on, right? That has to be in conflict with your Sag, actually, right?
Well, yeah, but I've been able, I'm not perfect at it, but certainly, nor do I want to be. But there are bridges between Sag and Capricorn that involve teaching, that
Yeah, they're right
involve,
next to each other.
writing up a new operating manual, writing up and connecting with wisdom and knowledge of all the adventures and the experiences to help others. And yes, there is definitely a serious aspect to that. But, with all the fire that I have on my chart and my Pisces moon and Mars, it's definitely a very different experience having a Capricorn rising that it doesn't take over things for me.
Yeah.
Um, but in the shamanic astrology philosophy or the system, the ascendant represents the emerging identity. It's what we're working on as a new
Mhm.
frontier for ourselves. And so it's where we can get a lot of rewards in life is from our rising sign. And in my
So I
case,
remember getting this from Daniel. You know, I mean, I call it it's what you're getting your master's degree in. I don't know if he used those exact words, but he goes, you don't have to be perfect at it, but that's what you're working on in this lifetime.
yeah. Yeah, sir. And certainly Scorpio is a bit different than Capricorn in that way.
Yeah, I'm Scorpio rising in case people didn't
That's
know.
what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you know, but maybe our listeners don't know. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. And so for all the people that are out there that you can look up your rising sign, you can connect with that. That's where you're going to get a lot of rewards in your life. It's what we're working on as our master's degree, as Anna Thea was saying, but it doesn't mean that you've got to, as Daniel said, be perfect at it.
Yeah. I remember him saying that. It was really profound having teachings from him. I really enjoyed that time of my life and getting introduced to that. Um,
He's a Capricorn moon, and
is he?
he's I call him a walking encyclopedia. Uh, it's pretty interesting. But anyway, I didn't want to go too far down that rabbit hole.
No, that's okay. So where are we going from here? I'm going to let you lead.
So yeah, so how did the love cards come into play?
I know I was thinking about that because went and did yoga this morning, which was like an amazing yoga class. It's like therapeutic yoga. They use the balls, and you roll on them, and oh my,
Oh,
she's amazing. And anyway, so I'm driving home and I called my sister, but she didn't answer. And because I was like, because I'm thinking about you and telling you, when did I get involved with the destiny cards or the love cards? And I know the story, but I didn't know what year it is. Anyway, right, and she didn't answer. So, but she texted me. She said, I just landed in Florida. She's always on the go. She's a 5 in the love card system, which is a very Sagittarian energy. And I said, what year was that we got the Sacred Symbols book, and that's this book right here, from her mother-in-law. It was 1995, so that was 31 years ago. So that kind of began my journey of being
hmm.
interested in all this esoteric stuff. So it began with astrology, maybe like in 2005. But I was already doing it since 1995 with this. And this is the book. I went and
Oh,
got I was like, can I find the book? And so I went upstairs. And it's so funny because this book, this was my sister's mother-in-law at the time. She's since passed, but deceased mother-in-law. She gave me and maybe my other sister and Joanne, my other sister, this book. And it was we had fun with it. It was like I didn't. But what's interesting about the copy that I got is it's backwards. So when I open it up, it always bugged me, but it's very actually perfect. So it opens it up to the back side. Actually, that's an extra piece of paper, but it doesn't open it up to the front. That's the front of the book. So
oh,
it
that's
was just
weird.
it was put together all upside down.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
always have had the rule of we live in an upside down world. So to do things right, you just have to think opposite. And so, I was just thinking about that. But I got this book 31 years ago. And that's when I learned I was a queen of hearts, the queen of
Ah,
love. So I've known since I was 35 years old, I guess is what that would be, that I was the queen of hearts. And we would always look in this book and look people up and have a lot of fun with it. And then, like, I don't know how many years later, my sister says, well, there's another book that's come out and it's a new guy, and it's not that he's new, but it's Robert Lee Camp, and it's the love cards. And
oh
so
yes. Okay.
I don't know if this is the
I've
original.
seen. I think I've seen that book before. It looks
Oh my
familiar.
Lord. So I've had so much fun with this system. And I just have a lot of fun with it. And so and I always love being the Queen of Hearts because it's very much my personality. The Queen of Hearts is the Queen of Love, the drama queen, all about emotions and sensuality and even, sexuality. I mean, when I was younger, I don't even want to say anything much about that, but yeah. But anyway,
But
um,
you hold classes for people about the love cards, don't you?
yes, yes, that's what
Yeah.
I teach about the love cards too. So, like I was
Yeah.
saying, I've got up here the ABCs of astrology. So I teach
Yeah.
you're more than your zodiac sign, soulmate astrology. When the nodes shift, I do a class, and then what was the other one that I'm thinking of? And I mean, I just like to do. Oh yeah, decode your astrology chart. But what I
Yes.
really want to do is help people have some kind of foundation of astrology because I know how much it's helped me, you know. And we're getting back to astrology, but the love cards was, it's based on numerology, astrology, and the 52 card playing deck. And it's
Yes.
super, and I have a whole software program. And so when I give an astrology reading, I start with the natal chart, I do transits, but I always like to jump over to the love cards because I have the software by Robert Lee Camp. He's the most published author in with this, but it's an ancient system.
Okay.
It's like Babylonian or Egyptian. They don't really fully know the origins of it. But based on your birthday, your month and day determines what card or cards you are. Scorpios have three cards because they're complex. Everyone else has two, except for Leos, because Leos have one, you know?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know. So, and so I like to carry this chart around with me. Sometimes I just do it on my phone, but I'm always curious what people's chart, what number they are. And I can't remember. I think you're a six, but I don't remember. When's your birthday?
November 25th.
Oh, that's right, because you're Sag. No, okay. Oh, you're an eight of hearts. Wow,
Yeah.
November 25th?
Yeah, and I've had a couple of Destiny card readings before many years ago, and I think there was one that was like my planetary ruler was it 10 of diamonds or spades or
Ten of
something?
clubs, 10 of
10 of
clubs.
clubs. There you go.
So
So yeah,
you're the eight of hearts
yeah.
and the 10 of clubs. So the eight of hearts, and these are I would say two power cards, totally. So the eight is I'm a queen of diamonds. I mean, I'm a queen of hearts, eight of diamonds. So we're both eights and we're both
Yes.
Sages. But eight is a power number, and we're learning how to wield our power responsibly. I have shining power because it's a diamond, and you, because it's a heart, you have emotional power. It's called
Ah.
the Playboy card.
Oh, interesting.
I
And thank
know.
you.
I mean,
I
that's
didn't
the
know
tough.
that. No one's ever told me that before. I was like, well, I never felt like a playboy, so hey, to
Well,
each
it's
their own.
I call it to be equal. I call it the Playboy Playgirl card. But you have emotional power, you have healing power, you have charisma. So that's but so your power is in the area of the heart. Mine is in the area of radiance and shine. But then you're that 10 of clubs, and the 10 is a one and a zero. Okay. And
Yeah.
so there's an independent nature to you.
Hmm.
Aces and tens are ones. But the tens are like
Yeah.
aces on steroids, so to speak. And it's a club, which is the mental function. So you have the heart functions and the mental functions. But the 10 of clubs, and I don't know that
Yeah,
I
this
have,
is all resonating with me.
and I don't know if I have it here easily available. Let me see if I have it here. Yes, I do. You'll like this. Let me see if I have it right here. Nope, this one. So it's a system, and it shows a spread
Oh
of the
yeah.
cards,
Yeah, I've
right?
seen that before. I've known a couple of practitioners where I've seen that display before.
So, like, for example, I'm the Queen of Hearts right there. And what's interesting, and I think everyone can
This
see this pretty good,
Neptune.
uh, I'm a double Neptune. And so that's that like dreamy, naive, idealistic, just wanting the perfect love relationship. Well, I've learned, but anyway, the perfect love relationship is the one I create with myself, right? And that's a
Yeah,
big part that I teach. I mean, you can have relationships, and that's where we learn, but you can't have a healthy relationship unless you have one with yourself.
yeah,
That's a big part of my own teachings of how, that Mars and Cancer, of how to really nurture yourself, how to come to your emotional rescue, because life will disappoint you. But anyway, this chart's powerful because I wanted to show you about you. So I'm a double Neptune. So whatever card you are, you can easily see, like for example, the Eight of Clubs is a Mars Neptune. It's a
mm.
masculine energy, and then the Neptune, that's pretty intense. Because isn't Neptune Mars the signature for depression? A square. Have you ever heard of that?
Uh, yeah. I was also
Or
thinking
Suis.
it can. I was thinking more Saturn, Neptune, but I could see Mars, Neptune being that way too.
Well,
Yes.
we just had the conjunction. All of us are pretty globally depressed.
Yes. Well, but it's also because according to Richard Tarnas, like the polarity of that Saturn Neptune is that you can have like this one part where it's ideally hopeful and like that there's the potential to manifest spirit into matter, and then the sense of hopelessness, the sense that nothing's going to work, it's just all falling apart. So you can get both of those at the same time. Anyway, so
Well,
that's why I tend
we
to,
need to talk about that too. I want to
yeah,
talk about that. But because we just had that conjunction. But
we
you
did.
my dear, look at this. So there, this is called the crown line. And out of this
Okay.
whole deck, and these cards move, and that's what creates your spread of whatever cards you've been dealt for a certain year of your life. And you can look at every card that's been dealt for every year of your life from age 0 to 99. It's like we're walking through a matrix, basically. It's a trip.
Wow.
So you can look back, you can look forward. Anyway, because these cards move, and that's what creates what card, my Queen of Hearts is going to move around the deck, and then there's a certain cards that he has it all in the software, and I have not learned that part of the system of how these move in quadrate. But anyway, this is called the mundane spread, and this is called the crown line, and there are only three cards up at the crown line, and it's the eight of diamonds, that's me. It's the 10 of clubs, that's you, and then it's the highest card in the deck, the king of spades. I hope I pointed
What's
correctly.
You did. What's that other diagonal one that's kind of tilted
Yeah,
out?
hey, that's a good question. It's the Joker, but I don't know why it's sitting there like that.
So the Joker is just having fun at the top, messing with
Well,
people.
if you have a joker, you're not readable in this system. Yeah, no, it's saying
Oh,
it's all. Yeah, it's not readable. Yeah, that has the joker
wow.
in the center. Yeah,
That's all on it. That's symbolic all on its own.
I know. It's pretty
That's
amazing. But that these three cards up at the top are looking down at the rest, and all
hmm
three cards have leadership qualities.
uh that makes
So
sense.
so you and I
Yeah.
are side by side there. You know,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, maybe we'll end up teaching a class together sometime down the road. Who
that would be
knows?
great. That would be great. What do you
Yeah.
want to teach? Oh, and I just recently taught
I don't
soulmate
know. It just came
astrology.
to me.
No, let's do it.
All right. But what did you
Um,
just say there? If you could
I
repeat
just
that.
recently taught soulmate astrology, which
Oh,
basically
okay.
I what taught Daniel G. Mario's astrology, which I have permission from him because as long as I mention his name, so I taught
Yes.
people about their Mars and their Venus and their descendant, um, and I called it soulmate astrology. I want to teach about compatibility too. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a presentation this coming weekend at a psychic fair, which it would have been great for you to be down here and do it. It's a different psychic fair than the one you're going to be in Grass Valley. It's at the Foundry, and
Oh, yes, I have heard of that one. I had forgotten about looking that up and learning when the next one is going to be. When is that again?
it's this coming weekend. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Okay. Well,
know, so
then
you can't
I
participate, but it's a
can't.
great. I
Unfortunately, I'm
think
doing
it's
a really big event north of in Albany, Oregon. So
yeah,
called the Brasani Fair. But yeah, I'll when I'm down there again, when we connect, I don't know if this there just give you can give me some details about when they're going to do that again.
yeah. They do it annually. They've been doing it for years. It's a very
Oh, just
solid.
once a year. Okay. So
Mhm.
I don't know why I was thinking they held it like twice or three times a year.
No, it's
Okay.
just one, and it's at the Foundry. It's at a historical public location. Downtown Nevada City, which is just like I love living in this area. It's just
It's
amazing.
yeah, for anyone who hasn't been in Nevada City, it's really cool to go downtown. It's very unique
Yeah,
and it's a very walkable town and a lot of old buildings and great food and music and I
culture.
I
Yeah.
invite
It's
everyone
where
to
the
check it
gold
out.
miners were. The gold miners were here, but also the suffragettes hid themselves here, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about that, but I've heard that. So
So a lot of history there. Lots of
right up
history.
my alley.
Yeah. And Grass Valley is just like 10 minutes
Right now,
away
it's
from,
Twin Cities, and Grass Valley
yeah,
has its own very unique historical downtown area as well. So,
that's
but I
true.
don't want
Yes.
people to, I don't want to bore people. I want to make sure we talk astrology and I want to make sure that, you
Well, we
know,
got a few minutes and we can also, and this is another thing we could do this again down the road too.
would
So
love to.
we don't have to try to fit everything in the next 5 to 10 minutes here.
Well, I want to ask you a question. What do you think of, well, the Saturn Neptune, which just happened, which is like, systems and structures and no system and structures. They're not good bed partners coming together. That we just had that big, huge conjunction. I mean, that's its all whole other big topic. But what we're having coming up April 25th is Uranus moving into Gemini. And what I trip on too is that that will be the final planet, right? That now we will have officially moved all the outer planets from Earth, water, slower energy to air, fire, faster energy. The outer planets, the transpersonal planets, the ones that support our evolutionary process. And they
Hmm.
are going to be sped up by now officially all being in air and fire. So I keep on thinking,
Indeed.
oh my God, put our seatbelts on.
Oh yeah. I also want to comment just on what you brought up because Chiron, which is something I've been working with for a long, long time. I don't know if you work with Chiron at all,
A little bit,
but
yeah. I mean, I always
it's
have it in the
moving.
chart.
It's the one that's doing the opposite. It's moving from an earth sign to a fire sign to an earth sign, beginning in June. From June and through September, it's a 3 month period where it'll be in Taurus before backing off and then making more of a permanent entry into Taurus in 2027. But um, but the rest of them, yeah, like you said, air and fire, and yes, this is particularly Uranus and Gemini. That's a really, really big deal in astrology, and this has been shared by many other astrologers as well. But every time the Uranus has gone into Gemini, obviously it's the U.S. return of Uranus, or the Uranus return of the U.S., I should say. And historically, we've been involved in a massive war,
Oh my
each of the
Lord.
last since the start of the Revolutionary War. Um, so it doesn't mean that we're going to be in a massive war. I mean, we've already seen signs that we're already involved in one now. So it doesn't mean like that we're guaranteed to have a global war or some kind of massive civil war part two. It's all in how we respond to this. How do we as individuals respond? How can we utilize this Uranus and Gemini for our breakthroughs, for curiosity, for learning, and opening our minds to other possibilities, and not just fall into the same trap as as in this case the U.S. has done, and other countries have done since the last couple of times that Uranus has been in Gemini. Um, but every time, in fact, Nick Dagan Best, an astrologer, he wrote a book about this, called Uranus USA. And in that book, he goes in to describe that at each incarnation of Uranus and Gemini, the U.S. comes out of that as its evolution happens. So after the Revolutionary War, we became a country. After the Civil War, we became more united. After World War II, we became a superpower. And what
Hmm.
will this one have in store for us? So that's up to us ultimately. And hopefully we can guide it on a more peaceful path and one where we're coming together and working together and learning together and having more fun because Gemini is also about having fun too.
Yeah, and communicating,
Um,
networking. You know, I
Absolutely.
there it's some what's coming up for me is, and I don't remember where or when I heard this, was that it's through war that we have progressed our technology.
Yes.
And so I mean, I'm just a real big advocate of enough of the shenanigans and let's get free energy going. So I'll just say it. I Imagineer, and I don't know if you've ever watched the documentary Thrive, um, or if you know Nassim Haramein.
Yes. I know. Yes. I've
Oh,
seen
awesome.
a few um, videos he's done or
Awesome.
interviews.
And
Yeah.
I'm like chomping at the bit. So I'm Imagineering because the technology is available. It's just about us shifting into it without being beholden to the powers that be. Is our cars being retrograded with a little retrofitted with a little box inside of it to motor our cars, and then our homes being retrofitted with a little box interfacing with our electrical panel or however it would happen to power our homes. That would be such a game changer for us. And it's I go back to what's moving the planets. what? There's no motor out there moving the planets, So there's energy.
Hmm.
And it's about the Taurus. It's about, which is not the Taurus, the zodiac sign. You're familiar with the Taurus, right?
Yes, that's the thing that they're using now with their development of fusion power.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what you mean by that. It's like
Yeah, it's an energy
it's
that
this
goes down.
cylindrical
Yeah, well,
thing.
the human body has it, Earth has it. I
Oh,
don't,
that torus. Now I understand what you mean by that.
yeah,
Yes.
free
Yes,
energy
but
has it.
that's also when you look at like when they show a picture of the core of a
Hmm.
fusion power reactor, it's the same thing. It's really
Amazing. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So we need to graduate. It's time to graduate, human race.
It
And I'm
is.
hoping, I have big hopes for Uranus and Gemini and even those other, the evolutionary push, with them being sextile and trines of the Pluto and Uranus and Neptune.
And
But
yeah, July is a big month for that. And they're all going to be in sextile and trine, including Jupiter and Leo as well.
yeah, I'm looking at some dates I wrote down. It's interesting. April the 25th, Uranus goes into Gemini, and I have my sister's birthday's that day. And then June 30th, two big people in my life, when Jupiter goes into Leo, two people in my life that
Oh,
whose birthday it is. So I that's
wow.
where I love numerology too, this overlaying and the matrix that we're in, and how everything is not, there's nothing that is everything is perfect. Everything is exactly going the way it's supposed to. Everything's synchronistic. Everything's clockwork. The universe is moving and we're in it. And all we have to do is, show up and, raise our hands and enjoy the ride, but also show up to the party, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Um, I think that Pluto in Aquarius is going to be playing a critical role in when it comes to energy and power, and the revolutionary ideas that are going to come through from that. The last incarnation of Pluto in Aquarius in the late 18th century was when we started to take advantage, much more advantage of steam power and automation of things.
Well,
Particularly,
what year
it
was
was
the
the beginning of
car?
it was the beginning of the Industrial Revolution that
Right.
was happening.
Since it sounds like you're a historian, kind of, what year was the car invented or came
Well,
online?
depending on who you consider, but I think it was the 1870s. That's still like that way, way, way after Pluto was in Aquarius. So but it was after it was in that period where we had the first Gilded Age of the U.S. And there was like much more like another wave of industrialization was happening after the Civil War. The railroads were all being interconnected, and then that's when the car ended up coming out. I think it was like 1870s, 1880s in that zone. I'd have to go and look it up the exact year. But yes, these planets certainly, if you look at during that time, I think it was, geez, 1890. I think it was 1892 when we had a Pluto-Neptune conjunction. And that only happens once every 490 years, I believe it is. So I do feel like that played a role in some what was happening during that time to help us, humanity, at least in our connection to the material realm and working with energy coming out. And these sextiles, Pluto Neptune sextiles have been going on for decades off and on. And now we're in another stage of that. And I think it goes on until the mid 2030s, and then it starts to peel off after that. But because Pluto's slowing down, and so it's going to fall behind Neptune in that way. But that's my those are my thoughts on that. And I encourage people to look at like if you love astrology and you look at like past transits, Richard Tarnas's book is an awesome book for that. But even just looking on your own, like what went on in certain years, and if you knew Pluto was in a certain sign or Uranus in a certain sign, you could maybe deduce and correlate what was happening, what role the planet played in the development of humanity.
Yeah. We have a long way to go, but I don't like to think in those terms,
Yeah, it's we live in a time of massive transition, and I feel like we're in the turning of one age into a new age right now. And whether if we want to call it the age of Aquarius or something else, the turn of a great year, which is 26,000 years long, we're in something. And it's, I think, by being this period of chaos, that's usually what happens when we're in between ages. Things are trying to get sorted out, and there's a lot of detoxification that needs to happen.
Yeah, and I hope we make it in time. So I there was some article that was sent and it showed a newspaper clipping from the 1800s or yeah, the 1800s, and it was like, the cities of America, the cities of the United States, they're all, because they didn't have automobiles at the time, and so it was all horse and buggy and horses. And so these cities were littered with manure on the city streets, and it wasn't paved, it was all dirt. And so they
Ugh.
were saying, in 50 years, we're not going to even be able to get into the buildings because it was so much work to get the manure out. Became a huge problem. And so they said, in 50 years, if we don't do something about this problem of cleaning up being able to manage this manure better, we won't be able to get into our buildings because the manure is going to be so high. And guess what came? The automobile. So this is my Imagineering again, is that we are at the crux. I mean, we have, you know, our leadership is very questionable. We have corrupt leadership, whether you're Democrat, Republican, or anywhere in between. The system is not working. And the
Yeah.
Pluto return for the United States, everything is just having to be rebirthed, so to speak. And we're in that rebirthing process. And so I'm really hopeful that in my life, sooner than later, because I don't want to wait too long for it, is free energy. And what a difference that would make in our lives, you know?
Yeah, it would completely change humanity forever.
Yeah. So,
So let's Imagineer that together.
yeah, I'm Imagineering
And
that
everybody
again.
watching, help
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah.
this.
That we see that soon and the technology's there. And Nassim Haramein and I say Haramein, that's probably not the proper
I can
pronunciation.
never remember how to pronounce his name, so I'm glad you're trying.
Well,
So
he says it differently than I do, but I like to roll the R with it. And I really appreciate the work that he's doing. It's
yeah,
very,
I keep meaning to look him up again. It's been a while, and because I love the sacred geometry and the work that he does with that, and I think it's very empowering.
yeah, between Gemini or Uranus and Gemini and Pluto and Aquarius, let's hope that things get, moved in that
Yeah.
direction. But it's
Well,
it's
here's
called
a
the International Space Federation is his YouTube channel and their organization. They left the United
oh,
States and
okay.
went to, I think, Switzerland, where they can do their
Uh,
company better. Now,
well,
of
here's
course, have they been corrupted? I don't know, but I'm still very hopeful. I have to believe in something, right? My
yeah.
scorpionic tendencies, ye of little faith, sad, not trusting. But
You are like I think of Sagittarius, in combination with Scorpio is the one that is lighting the torch and helping us see through the dark and help to navigate and guide us through those passageways,
yeah,
facing
yeah.
our fears and with the torch of inspiration and hope.
Thank you. I do feel that that's what I have.
Mm.
Um,
My
I'm
midheaven's in Scorpio.
Well, my rising is in Scorpio. So not exactly, but with square. You know what I mean? If yours
Hmm.
is midheaven in an interdimensional way, that's a square.
Yeah. What degrees is your rising sign again?
24.
Okay, so you're at the other, mine's at 4.
Mhm.
So interesting. We're on kind of anchoring the sign on each end. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to close it out here in a few moments. But we could definitely do a part 2.
This is fun. Thank
And
you for
it'll be
having me.
fun. Yeah, you're welcome. Any last thoughts, or and especially how people can contact you?
Yeah, you can go to my website, annathea.org. It's actually here in the screen, right
Oh, there, yeah, there it is.
there. You can go, there's free resources, and one of which is you can get a free class, Decode Your Astrology Chart. Um, and then, yeah, through my website is probably the best way. I mean, I really don't do a lot of social media. I do a little bit of Facebook, but I've pulled way back from any social media. So the best way to contact me is directly through anathea.org. And I have a lot of good stuff there. I have articles. I wrote over 250 blogs many years ago, and they're all about relationship, love, communication, emotions, sexuality, female sexuality. We didn't even talk about I wrote a book, Empower Yourself by Loving Your Body. Did you know that?
You told me you wrote a book, but I didn't know the title of it until now.
Yeah, so
And,
Empower Yourself by Loving Your Body, The Woman's
okay,
Guide to Reclaiming Yourself as Sacred. So it's really
beautiful.
about, to be an all-American girl is to have body image issues. We just inherit that. And so really to reclaim your body as sacred. And that's what I learned through the mystery school too, was to really honor our bodies, no matter
Hmm.
what age, shape, or size, that it's really a vessel for our soul. And that's why astrology fits so nicely into that, because
Indeed.
astrology is the study of the soul and the soul's journey.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I just
Well,
really
yeah,
appreciate you having me here. And I guess you'll have links down below for people to,
I will definitely have links, including to your how to get your book.
yeah,
And I know I'm going to be a guest on your
you are. That'll be fun.
podcast. So yeah, we're
I
I'm
get to
look.
play Barbara Walters with you because I have the same birthday. I have the same birthday as Barbara Walters.
Oh wow. Okay. Amazing. Okay. There's a connection there for sure.
I should be doing it more often. I should interview people more often. I like it. I like doing this.
Thank you. Oh, I love doing it too. So this has been a lot of fun and getting some additional insights and the work that you do and getting it out there into the world. And thank you all for watching this. And please like and subscribe if you do, and share it with others if you think it'll be valuable to them. And there'll be more to come. So excited for more videos and sharing with everybody out there in the world. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Anna Thea.